And it says it in there that he's 50% ready for UFC. Quote, he's 50% ready for UFC. I would call my coach and I fire him and say, hey, can you tell him that I'm almost ready? 50% he cutting it. So.
Will you sign a contract with UFC?
Sure, man. I went to Joe Silva's house, matchmaker, talked to him. You know, I don't really think age is an issue. Herschel Walker started at like 47, and you know, Randy Couture was a champion. And George Foreman is a friend of mine and says that he had a long career because he didn't have 200, 300 amateur fights before he became a boxer. That's why he's not like most boxers with brain problems. He doesn't have that much wear and tear on his body, you know. And speaking of George, I remember 3 things he taught me that I always remember. Like in boxing or any training, either you get hit, right, or you move, or you jam the move. Those are only 3 things that's going to happen. So every time I teach or something, I remember that, because it's true. People are like, I want to be a fighter. I'm like, okay, go to the class, get punched in the face for about a year, and then like that, and then decide that you want to fight. You know what I mean? So, thank you, man.
Do you have a question?
Would you ever, do you think you will ever fight Austin St. John?
No, that's a silly question. He's not a fighter. I mean, does he have any amateur fights? No, I wouldn't fight him. I mean, everybody like this whole feud thing. Yeah, I've said a lot of stuff before. I've said stuff, and you know, it's just going off of what was said to me that he's got 300 fights and all this other stuff. So I was like, cool, let's just do Ranger versus Ranger. It got blown out of proportion. Now he's coming on tour, when he never did before. But anyway. I'm just saying that I've stuck to who I was, and I was proud of who I was, you know what I mean, and did what I did. And I know quite a few people that knows them and stuff like that, and these guys weren't proud of who they were back in the days. And I don't care what anyone says, they weren't. And this is why, like my panel, I want to make sure that you guys hear all positive stuff. A lot of people say Power Rangers ruined their life. You can go watch panels. Power Rangers never ruined my life. It gave me my life. It gave me my fans. But it's your choice to either reach out to the fans, get the fans, or sit back and think the fans are coming to you. You guys have been in enough cons to look around and know that, you know what I mean? But as far as me and Austin, we don't have an issue. I'd like to do something with the original cast only if it's for a charitable event. Because when we all get together, it's going to be a big thing. And I'm not going to have no promoter jam a high-priced ticket up, you know where, and say, hey, you guys see the Rangers. I want it to be for charity. That's what I'd like to see. You know what I mean? Pick a good charity and we all get together. I haven't seen Amy for years. I haven't seen Austin in years. I've seen Walter, Dave, I stay close to. It's not Angel Grove all the time. You know what I mean? And I haven't seen a lot of people, but I got no issues. But that's not his profession. I know it might be something people want to see, but you know, you're not a professional. And sometimes when, you know, I'm a doctor, all right? I'm a professional. I'm a doctor all over, okay? So if you need a doctor in the house, let me know. Because I can do the best I can, and they'll look at you and say, sorry, we lost him. I'm just a doctor, I play one on TV.
That's when we knew Power Rangers was science fiction, when Tommy got a doctorate.
Totally.
Yep, right there.
Are you a fan of the origins of Power Rangers from Japan, the extra shows that came from that?
I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was the whole entire time when I was watching Power Rangers. Like, I didn't know what a Power Ranger was, you know what I mean? And I know maybe because I guess Power Rangers is the American name for it, right? And then they showed us the Japanese version, and then they stopped because it was a little bit more violent than what we wanted. So I was like, well, let's do that. Well, am I gonna go out like that? Am I gonna die like that? No, you don't die. And when you punch, you gotta smile. I'm like, well, how come? You know, so a lot of, I had to modify a lot of things. You know what I mean? So, but yeah. So only when I was doing table reads would see the original, but it didn't make sense for us because we changed the storyline. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like battle, 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 win, 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 spark, spark, grow, grow, fight, fight, happy, happy. Everybody says Tommy, Tommy. I save her. She breaks up with me. I know you had your hand back there.
Yeah, I just want to say this goes back to a couple things ago. I've been to several cons where you've been at, and you were very interactive with your fans, where a lot of celebrities are, I'm obligated, I'm here. You know, they're nice, but you can tell that they're stuck. You know,
Yeah.
And I want to say, man, you do a great job with your fans, and that's awesome.
I appreciate you. I appreciate people going out of their way and saying good things to people. I think in life, we're always looking so much to say something bad, you know, like even in relationships, and I've learned a lot, but always got to pick the bad things, but what about all the good things? And I appreciate you that. I really do, man. It makes me feel like making fans happy is what I like to do. And it makes me feel like I'm on the right track. But the key is to this, man, like, and I shouldn't knock you, this is a hobby for me. It's not my job. And for some people it is. And I shouldn't say, well, do this or do that or do a charitable event. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that because maybe they want the job, but I don't need the job. I'm really here for you guys. Like, some fan asked and said, well, what is your ultimate goal out of all this? And I was like, well, I didn't, caught me off guard because I don't really have like the ultimate goal. I just want to keep doing what I think God put me here to do, is to inspire people. And it doesn't mean that I have to be an actor or do big movies. I just like I like entertaining people, but I like sharing stories. And everyone that comes up to the table says, I know you heard this a lot, but I'm your #1 fan. Man, if I don't hear that, then I'm just going to be here, be stuck. I don't want to be stuck. I want to hear those stories, and I like hearing those stories. That means more to me than anything. You know, money can't buy stories, and money can't buy trust, and money can't buy what you said. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you going out of your way and saying that, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate
There's
it.
a hand all the way in the back that's been up. Yes, you. You.
Well, probably the green, just because I started as the Green Ranger in the very beginning. So I'd lay out the suit, take pictures of it. All the stuff that you see, everything you see on Google and stuff is from my camera. No, for real, like all the Green Ranger stuff, me sitting in that chair, the Forever Red stuff, all that. I took so many pictures, and now it's on YouTube, so I was pretty happy. That just stuck in my head. I remember one time I just laid the suit over the chair, saw the helmet, and I was more intrigued with just the mouth. But I was scared. I was like, oh man, I can't talk in it or what? You know what I mean? Like, I thought I would just not have no lines. I didn't know we can like talk to the helmet, So, but probably the green.
So you had mentioned that you kept in touch with a few of the original cast members. So when you first met them, did they sort of like let you into their group, or was it more disjointed?
That's an interesting question. When I started the show, and just like when you guys, we'll get your question next, I promise, man. When I started the show, I was like the new guy. So I don't know how people took it. I wasn't there to threaten anyone. I was just there for 10 episodes, coming in and out. But Tommy was a cool character, super cool. Like, I didn't care. I was like, cool, I just want to be done in 10 episodes. Like, I don't want to be a leader. I don't want nothing to do with this stuff. Like, I just want to come in and come out. Then when I started working, I didn't know how the industry was. And then, as you guys know, like 3 of them kind of wanted more money and all this other stuff. And so like, I got really like, don't ruin my job. Like, I don't even want to get close to you, man, because I don't want to be dragged into this thing. So it was like me, Dave, and Amy that were like, I don't care what we get paid, man. Like, I love the job. And then those 3 had their things. And those 3 asked us to join. And if we all join, then we can get more money. And so now there's bitter feelings because we didn't join them. But that's not me. And they're saying, we wanted to better you, but I am better already. So when that started happening, it started getting weird. Like, I just want to show up to set and just work, man, and do my job. And then when they left, they kind of just left like that. And so we had to get stunt doubles to come in. So we had a guy that was dressed in red, then we had a girl that was dressed in yellow, and then we're trying to do a scene, so they're shooting over shoulders, and I'm thinking, man, this is just a big mess. Like, where'd the original Power Rangers go? And so at that time, I didn't want nothing to break me apart with money or anything like that. So the new guys came, and I was like, I wonder if they're going to be here a long time. Because being a Ranger is not easy. I know it's 16-hour days, 6 days a week. There's no partying, there's no drinking, there's no coming on set with a hangover, none of that. We got to just be there to work. You know what I mean? And so when the new guys came, I was like, you kind of build your walls. I said, all right, I let him in. Then they started changing. Then Steve changed. It just was like so much craziness going on that when I came in and the producers and said, hey, you need to go. And there was a huge pay difference from everybody. All right, there was. But I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for money. They just gave me money. So I went in and said, hey, you need to go back to the other Rangers. Let's make this fair. I'm tired of hearing it all. I'm tired of getting singled out. And I'm like, this guy from the show doing this. So they just offered me more money to stay, and they don't want pats on the back. So I left. And people were like, you're silly. You got offered more money, but I can't be bought. If I don't like you, you ain't coming up to me and going to pay me and say this or say that. I can do it for free and say, good luck. I want to have good fans, but I can't be bought. And so even in my Black Belt Academy, you got to earn a black belt. You're not going to come there for 6 months to get a black belt. I can't be sold out like that. never been sold out. That's why I don't take appearance fees on these shows. I can't be sold out. So I left the show. Then they started this thing where they changed every year because they don't want actors to have power. And there's a thing called limerence where you're all excited about your job, and then 6 months later when it burns out and you start wanting to say, where's my trailer, where's this? Well, new cast members were in. So they had this theory, if they just keep hiring new people all the time, then they would do their best on set. They won't go on strike, they won't leave, they won't do this. So that's the reason why they changed cast members. Then Dino Thunder came up. They said, hey man, you want to do Dino Thunder? It's owned by Disney. I said, sure man, I'll do it. Need to pick up ratings. 2 friends of mine that did it. And I said, I'll do it. Let me just read the script. Then I went into Disney, and we're going to do the deal. Then the Disney, who was the president of Disney, said, hey, we need you to audition for Tommy. I said, okay, cool. All right, I'm out. And they're like, no, Jason, sit down. I said, dude, that is so dumb, Gary, to audition for what I created. So he's like, all right, we'll cross that out. And he's like, well, you know, we heard you all were pretty wild on set when you guys were 18. I said, hey, Gary, I said, I'm 30 years old now. What were you doing in Woodstock? I'm just asking. Everyone was kicking me under the table like, hey man, just be cool. And I says, I'm gonna either do the job, and I'm gonna do Favorite Nation, then I'm gonna get paid what everyone else is getting paid, or I'm not doing it. Because I'm not gonna go in there and be the guy that's gonna grab millions of dollars and think like I'm this and I'm that walking in there. It feels uncomfortable. So I did Favorite Nation, and then when Megaforce came, they offered me the thing, and I said, same thing. We all get paid the same. I don't want no one pointing fingers at me no more and saying that. So when you don't ask for stuff, you get. But I really loved my job, and I loved doing what I did. But it wasn't the fame. It wasn't the power. It started getting weird. You know. So I'm friends with Johnny. Like I talked to him. I haven't seen Austin in a long time. I talked to Walter. But my theory, when someone's gone that long, you stay connected to your fans. I don't care where you're at. You got internet. You can stay connected to your fans. Don't come out and just do it because everyone's doing cons now and there's money to be made. Maybe that's what they need to do, but I don't want to be like that. So I don't want to sell out like that. You know what I mean? And I just loved acting and I loved doing what I did. So I talk to Johnny, I talk to Dave all the time. I haven't seen Amy. I'd like to talk to her. You know, I talk to her sometimes. I've done some Kickstarter things for her, promoted her a little bit. I want to do a Green and Pink tour. I asked her about, she's in Rhode Island right now. You know, so, you know, some people fear crowds, and she has a little bit of anxiety when it comes to big crowds and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens, you know. And if we do something good, I'd like to do something that's all positive and fans can really interact and do it. There's things that I don't tell fans that really don't need to know because I want you guys to love everybody. That's the idea behind Power Rangers. Nobody wants to be separated here and choose this guy and choose that guy. We're all family, even though we don't tour together and do stuff. The stuff like that. Questions with Austin, and you have beef with JDF, and you have this is so old and so over with, and we don't. But I just want everyone to enjoy what you enjoyed as a kid. There's always backstories and stuff, but that's not stuff. You know. My life is 70% positive, 30% negative. We all have the ups and downs. I deal with a lot of stuff, depression. I deal with ADD. I deal with just life is like this, and I think that's why fans can relate to me. That we all have issues and problems, but we got to get through them. You know what I mean? And you got to change your thought process. My instructor used to say, stinking thinking. When you start thinking like bad, you're only worth as much as your mouth is. You know, if you say you're worth and you can do it for you too, be an actor, you just got to keep saying I can. I've been told so many times Power Rangers will never make it. I got turned down by every agency, even in conventions. I'll never do good at conventions. You'll never have this, you'll never have that. You'll never have big karate schools. Never, 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 never. It drove me to be more disciplined and dedicated and always say I can. To prove people wrong, but not for just, you know, proving you wrong. I'm nice to people, even when they shine me off or say I was a wash-up or a has-been. When I see them, I'm nice to them. I just might not be their friend, you know. And everything's stored in my mind. I just take mental notes of when I'm in the green room and when I'm at conventions. I see everything. People signing, actors treating different people. I store it all here to say that I want to be the best in my head. You know what I mean? So. Anyway.
This guy's been very patient back there.
I know that you saw the pilot video, and then I don't know the YouTube guy's name. You had actually posted it on your Facebook about the Power Rangers when they came back. And you guys were being hunted. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh,
yeah.
The reboot.
Yeah, it turned out I think the Red Rangers.
Well, I didn't post the movie. I posted my response. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. The reason I was bringing it up is because you said on your Facebook that they would probably never ever let it happen. But would you support something like that for like the adults? as far as, because it was more grimy and more.
No,
adult and
no,
stuff
we
like
can't.
that.
That's the one person that I was talking to with those actors up there, when you got 300 people behind you and that actress needs to get to the airport, but they say one selfie, you have 299 people that are gonna be ripped off because they don't get a selfie. So that's being greedy. And what's happening is that because we're older, we can't be greedy for the little kids. We have to sacrifice the brand. The brand has been there every single year. It's been there for 20 years. It's still a kid's show, no matter what anyone says. And to me, you're all still kids. I won't come up here, you are. I mean, I don't drop F-bombs. I might at home, but I don't on my panels. Go look at anything I've ever posted. It's always PG-13 because I have kids looking up to me. That's why I don't respect CM Punk. It tells me to F off and says this foul language. Kids look up to you too, man. Like, you know what I mean? So I can't. You could do movies without having the Black Ranger do cocaine. I mean, well, I'm gonna support that. Yeah, man, cool. Hey, at least it's white. Good job. Maybe 20. I can't. You just can't right now, you know? We got kids, and we have to like sacrifice. When the brand disappears for 10 years, then you can reboot it. But until then, we have to sacrifice, and you have to be that mom and dad, sacrifice your time, that you don't want to drive your kids around here and there, but you have to sacrifice, and that's what we have to do for the kids. But now the reboot is going to be probably a little bit more darker for the PG-13-ish, and I'm sure it's going to be really awesome, but we're not going to have that stuff in there. You almost don't need that in there. You know what I mean? If you beat someone up or club someone over the head, you don't need an insert shot with blood. It's still cool. Oh, bam, cool. That's it. So when rated R movies, they start talking about the sex, the blood, the violence, then they start putting a rated R. You can still do a lot with PG-13. Because what's on TV now is pretty embarrassing with what Jenna watches. Songs now, when she starts, I didn't really look into, I'm 42, I didn't really care. Songs she sings, I'm like, stop singing that song. You know what I mean? Like, we know it's nasty, but they don't, but stop singing that. And I'm not gonna sit there and say, well, hey, that verse really explains this and that. You know what I mean? So we still gotta keep it like PG-13, so we can get away with a lot of stuff right now. It's just that movie's like super, super secret, man. Like, it's on lockdown, like even with me. It's like The Walking Dead. I was talking up there, and they don't tell people until you're dying that day to give you the script, you know? So you don't really know, and I think it's smart. Keeps everybody on the edge of the seat to be like, oh, are you gonna be in it, or are you gonna do this, are you gonna do that? I don't know, I really don't know right now, this time.
All right, man, I think unfortunately we're out of time.
Did you have a question?
I just wanted to ask what your favorite tattoo was.
Oh, thanks. That was an easy one. Favorite tattoo is Jenna on my chest. You want to hear a funny story about this? All right, look. It's really close to my nipple. Listen, I told Jenna, I said, you know what? I should have just moved it and put your mouth right there on my nipple. She's like, Dad, stop! I'm like, you keep acting like a baby. I'm just going to move my tattoo down. Your mouth will be gone. She's so scared that I couldn't when she was little. But that's my favorite tattoo, and then the Jesus then tap. You know what I mean? Like, I just think it's awesome. I don't put religion on anybody. It's a relationship. I'm not going to sit here and preach because I've sinned. We've all sinned, and we're just trying to get better. And anyone that's going to sit there and tell you this and tell you that, it's just a personal relationship. It's tattooed on my body. People are like talking smack. Unfortunately, you don't get JDF without a tattoo on my body. This is what it is, but I've never cornered you with a Bible and hit you over the head with it. I'm going to now. Close the doors.
All right, guys, give it up for Jason Daly.
Hey guys, we got the VIP at 5:30. I'll be at the table for a little bit up there. If you already saw it, come say hi, say bye. I'll be here tomorrow too. We're not going to do the karate class tomorrow just because I have to leave a little bit earlier, but we can't do like one big selfie, so you guys just squeeze. I'll show you my frame there, picture. Stand on the chair. I'll tell you where to go. Oh, actually, yeah, that's good. Hold on. You want to do that? Hey, Harold. You want to do that shot for me? All right, you all see the camera, right? I'm gonna come down there and then I'll sit up front. Okay? You can see me, but we can't move. We can't move because we're doing the panoramic shot or whatever. All right, so don't move. Alright, stay right there, don't move. I'm gonna get one video, and we're gonna post this up. I'll post that up a little bit later. You guys can at least get that. Give you more one. Morph?
Yeah.
Use your
Dragon sword! You gotta do it on video.